nuisance abatement. So if any of you want to look that up, you can look it up under using the software package called Wall Writer, LAWRITER, Wall Writer. And
right, I'm familiar with that. Okay. I was just asking you if you could tell me right off what the process is.
All right, so number one, you have to advertise all the properties in a local publication or a adopted publication of your government first. So we pay a large amount of money to advertise the weed lots in the township. Then a letter is sent out by certified mail to the property owner. And a lot of times that letter is kicked back because the property owner is not available, it's in probate, whatever the case may be. So then we have to try to find a different way of finding out who the property owner is. Renters or people that are staying at a property are not legally allowed to be involved in the process. So that the code enforcement officer is 100% responsible for advertising the weed lot and then giving the certified letter. Once that certified letter is issued and there's no response, then the code enforcement officer goes out and posts a letter or a notice on a property, similar to the green sticker you might find when they sticker a car that's inoperable. And then they put a stake in the yard that has the height of the grass. At that point, the road department is assigned that property, and then we're legally allowed to enter.
Okay.
Prior to that legal process, Sheila, we are not allowed to enter, or we could be sued for trespassing.
Right, and I get that. So now I know in the past there was, and forgive me, I can't remember exactly where it was at, where there was a list of all the properties that had been fined. And I wanted to find out, where would I find that list at to kind of go back? Because I know you said that the Tony had sent out over 100 violations. Isn't there a list of properties that the violations were sent out on somewhere?
You can request that from Tony. He can supply that list to you. And again, it's a growing list. So make sure when you make that request to Tony, you say that I only need, the single time that you send out the letter, not duplication letters, because we have to send a letter out each time we want to go back and mow a property.
Right. I get that, but there used to be on the website, it used to be where you could go in and there was a list of all the properties that had violations. So that we don't have that anymore.
I don't know that. I trustees, since both of you are here on the Zoom, would you like that service to be done this year?
Yes.
Roy?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. I'll make sure that when Mr. McKee comes back to work next Monday, residents, I will have him post what weed lots he's actually given the go-ahead to go mow. While it's in litigation in terms of the letter, they cannot, and by law, release the names and property.
No, just the property, just the address.
Just the property, just the address. Yeah. Okay, I will do that. I will do that.
That would be fine. I did have a couple people call me. Matter of fact, come to my house about. I heard you say that the potholes and they were doing all that. Is there somewhere like a assignment of where you're going to go and what's going to be repaired and a time frame? Because it's a hole. It's a big old hole in the middle of Derby. When you go down Derby between Blairwood and Kimmel Lane, it's a huge hole. And it looked like it just kind of popped up nowhere. So I'm reporting that to you now. And also, I've been trying to see when is somebody going to take a look at these sewer drains, because they're falling in over here in this area, and or I'm sorry, storm drains, and the kids or anybody, if they step on it, they're gonna fall through it. One of them is just a piece of the street that's cracked up, the pavement that's barely holding it up together. Is there? Do you have that added on the list to get it repaired? That the curbs, some of the sidewalks, is just the township is falling apart.
I would agree with you 100%, and this comes from no plan to keep things maintained like you do on your own home over the years. And I don't blame anyone, it just didn't happen. So now they're brittle, the concrete has lived its life, and if you can work with us to try to find the money, an average storm box itself to be torn out and put back is in the range of $10,000 to $15,000 to acquire and then dig out. So you take 15 to 20,000 times how many of these boxes are out there. We have a second problem that's severe is the RTA buses are turning the corners on some of these curbs and they're crushing the lids. And so we don't know, last year they repaired 3 storm boxes, but we don't have the money to replace them. Which is a full dig out of the entire sewer system or the storm sewer system. So, Sheila, I'm all about what ideas we can get help with, but at this point, I don't know what we're going to do because there's just so many of them.
I get that, but I do feel that money should be budgeted at least once a year to fix certain projects. Because if you don't do nothing, everything will fall apart. But at least take and say, well, in 2022, we're going to fix this drain or this curb or whatever. But you have to work on something in order to start the process. You can't just say, well, we don't have no money. We do have money. We just need to spend the money that we have wisely. Yeah. And we need to set up different projects according to our budget. We just can't keep saying, well, we don't have the money. We have money because we're hiring all these people. We're talking about potentially, going and buying new equipment for the road department and doing all that. At some point, we got to repair. You got to do some repair work.
And I would agree with you 100%, and so is Mike. He's shaking his head, yes. But here's the thing: we have no roller, we have no digging device, we have no bobcat, we have no crack sealer, we have no hot box. We don't have those things to go repair. We have to subcontract out. Now, I would agree with you. There needs to be a schedule. But trustees are just now rolling into repairing just the road. And they had the engineer firm do that work 2 years ago to evaluate which roads are the worst. And now they're just now working on patching the roads themselves. So I'm open to anything that the trustees want to do. But you've got to say what's priority. And right now you've got worse road problems than you do. These are just as bad, but you only have so much time and only the limits of equipment. You have to subcontract it out.
I just always am hearing that we're always getting some kind of new equipment, and I don't see any work being done. So I'm going to move on. So the next in-person meeting will be the July 6th meeting. I think that's what Roy said. Is that right, Roy?
I thought let's see what happens here, because you said July, July the 6th.
Right, because I think Tracy was saying that we could start next month. However, we have to have in-person meetings by July 1st.
Is that okay with you, Mike?
I mean,
Yes. Yes.
I'm just asking that you had said July 6th, so I just want to be clear on
Make that.
the in-person
I
meetings so I
agree.
can
Let's
share.
make that a goal. Let's make that a
Mr.
goal.
Wolf, will you be ready with the room by July 6th?
We can put some tables and chairs in there. That's all you'll have the room ready. I mean,
Okay.
we can put some tables and chairs and that's all you'll have, but, I can get it ready.
All right, let's do it, and then we'll hold the meeting July 6th here at Calumet.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks. I'm gonna. I've asked enough for now, so thank you for your response.
All right, Mr. Fletcher, you're up. Unless you want to pass.
I'll just pass today.
Thank you. Ms. Linda Rowley or Bruce?
Linda Rowley, 246 South Diamond Mill. Sheila hit quite a few of the things I had. Thank you, Sheila. You did a wonderful job. Two things that I really would like to have an answer on is many meetings ago, it was proposed that you trustees look at refinancing there was an option out there to refinance some of the fire department items so that you would get a better interest rate and be able to save some money. And that just kind of went nowhere. They were going to talk about it next meeting, and I've not heard about it since. And one of mine also I wanted to know was about the public meetings. When are we going to get back to them? And I think it's always better if you can meet face to face and I can look you in the eyeball.
Well,
you said in July, but why can't we do it in June? And my third question is, the minute thing is just out of control and in crisis. I hope you said that you were going to get something done on that in the next couple of weeks. I hope that is actually true, but it's been 2 years now and I'm still waiting. So show me on that one.
okay.
And my last one is that a couple of meetings ago, there was some people that hadn't gotten their pay because of their COVID pay, and I've not heard that come back up in any meeting. And I don't remember all the people that affected, but I know there was a couple. And has that been solved?
Mr. Wolf, can you answer that question?
Presently, that is an HR issue being handled with legal counsel. So I'm not at liberty to discuss, except that the Bureau of Workmen's Compensation has completed its duties. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Now, can you answer my other questions, please?
As far as the minutes, we will have you some information on that one.
When?
I'm trying to get a date here. I'm gonna say 3 weeks from today.
Is he paying someone to transcribe them?
Are you paying someone to transcribe them?
I don't want to give away any of my trade secrets, but 3 weeks from today.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yes. Why are we waiting to July? Why can't we start in June on the meetings face to face? I know that OSU has already gone back. I know that the Ag Society has already gone back. And when are we going to start being able to use the residents be able to use the Calumet Center for things that is related to the township? We've been locked out now for months and months and months.
Yeah, we know that there's some problems that came up, but let's go with the date that we have, and if we can get things together quicker, we may change that date.
Okay, so you're telling me the Calumet Center is going to be open for the public to be able to use in July?
The 6th of July, and it may be open sooner. We will let you know.
Okay, we'll see.
All right, Bruce, do you have anything?
No, it's pretty much covered. You covered it earlier.
All right, thank you. Kevin Niles, Niles.
Good evening, trustees. So the exchange of conversation about the administrative assistant and the HR person, did you guys have somebody in mind for that? I mean, I heard that exchange and it was quite uncomfortable, so I'm not sure really what I heard out of that. Do you guys have somebody for that position, or is somebody filling that role and for the meantime?
Let me say, we will be advertising for the administrative assistant. For the zoning person, we do have someone for that spot.
Okay. And in the meantime, who's going to fill in that role?
Which one?
The administrator, is that a dual role? Is it two roles or is it a single role? Administrative assistant and an HR person, or is it one role?
The administrative assistant is we're looking at that. We want to talk about that one. As for the zoning person, we already have selected a person for that role.
Well, let's talk about the HR, the administrative assistants and HR. Is that one person?
That was one person.
Okay.
Right.
So your conversation tonight was about searching for that person, not appointing someone to that position.
Correct. No one has been appointed.
All right. So that was my question. In the meantime, who is going to fill in that role and make sure those duties get taken care of?
Okay, we can't answer that question yet.
Okay. Because I mean, I know it's got to get done, and I know it's not an easy task to get. Tracy Edwards said that she can't absorb that responsibility, and no one else can either. But it's got to get done. So, I mean, there's got to be a solution there. You don't have to tell me what it is, as long as you know what it is and you can get it done. So.
Well, there's some things we can't really get into because we were in executive session, so I got to keep that in.
No, I totally understand that.
Okay. Is there anyone else out there that I don't see on the screen that wish to address trustees?
Trustee man, I just have a comment about this.
Okay.
My computer skills, spreadsheets. I've done payroll for the fire department for the last 2.5 years. If there's anything I can do for you guys for this pension issue with OPERS and OP&F, I'd be happy to help. I mean, I vet the bills every single week, daily, sometimes with Miss Edwards as far as reports coming in and requesting payment to these agencies. So if there's anything I can help on that, you let me know.
All right. I may call you tomorrow. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, trustees report. Mr. Trustee McLaughlin.
Thank you. So, we had communication on not being able to get a hold of people in the township, and not answering the phone. We went through about a big long phone list and all that. And I did give my personal cell phone number out there, and I'll give it again, 937-776-0989. And I did have a resident call me that's been in the meetings. We had 2 different meetings with the man in regards to some issues he's having in the township. We got those addressed. But there again, if you got questions, if you think you have issues in the township, please call me. Might not have the answer you like, might not be able to answer them, but I will talk to you. I'm glad to see we're making progress. And in different aspects of the township. I'm glad to see we stopped the purchase of a used piece of equipment, and let's foresee going forward with the purchase of a new piece of fire equipment, a tanker to help the township out. I'd like to see why we're not moving in Station 59. We need to get some answers on that. And I'm glad to see that the old fire station, the old fire truck is still back under the roof, even though it's abandoned and going to be sold. It's not sitting outside. I'm glad that was addressed. I asked about that, and it got moved back inside, so I'm happy to see that. I have been driving some of the roads, and we are in need of some repairs. I'd like to get with Sheila and look at the storm culverts that she's speaking of. In my past years, at a younger age, I've repaired quite a few of those myself, and maybe we can come up with a process that I can teach some of these young guys we have here how to do that. I can't see it being $10,000-$15,000 a structure. I need to see the structure, and but Sheila would like to meet with you and go over a few of those. Besides that, I love this township, and that's all I got.
All right, thank you. This job, it requires you to do certain things. So a lot of people try to go in and get some things done. And that is what we need to do. Because years ago, when we had fire service, let's say back in the 80s, we had the fire service. Every station had people that lived close to that station, and they came and ran fire rescue out of that station. They had the whole, everything that was needed. If they needed a medic or something, somebody else in another district sent them a medic to run. And we did those things. So we took care of fire because the people liked everything that was going on, and they stepped forward to assist. And that is something that has happened. And you see the same thing, or you've heard the same thing during wartime, that everybody steps up to the plate and helps out, because if you can't do it for your home, you've got some problems. So anyway, we have a few things that we need to take care of. We realize that. But we're working, or we're looking towards those things to make that change. So it's may not happen overnight, but down the road, we're going to have things where they're going to change. So that's what we're going to look for. And when we come together, that's where we're going to be. Now, we've been wearing masks. Everybody may not like that. Or how are you going to prove you come in a place and they said mask is required and you're not wearing a mask, but you say you are? Well, we got to take your word for it. And that's the way things are at this particular time. So I want to thank everybody for your participation tonight. And then there again, I may come in and run a meeting, and I may give somebody some time to see who's going to stick to that 3-minute rule. And, everybody is not going to stick to it. I'm not going to talk about you, Sheila. But anyway, that's the way things are. But
That's okay, Roy.
but anyway, they say it's good for people to laugh, and you see Sheila came back laughing, but that's the person she is. So anyway, want to wish everybody a happy evening. It's close to 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I will see you next week. Now, I may not see you next week on the next meeting, because I got to have a grandson that's graduating out of Tuskegee University in animal science. So I'm going to be traveling close to the end of this month south. And hopefully they have enough gas or I don't run into any tornadoes. But just say a prayer for me as I go down the road, and I will see you back here sometime in next month at the second meeting, if not the first. And everybody have a nice evening, and thank you for coming. I vote to Tracy. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Good night.
Good night.
Vote.
Trustee Mayor,
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes, we are adjourned at whatever time it is.
Okay,
9:59.
59. Thank you. Y'all have a nice evening.
Good night, all.
Good night.